Hello everybody, I have set myself a challenge. Can I find a practical family estate with a budget of just £3,000? Or am I crazy? Should I just use that £3,000 as a down payment on a new PCP deal? Well, let's find out, shall we? My name's Ben, welcome to Dadcars. Well done, CT. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Now, some of you might be wondering already, why is that guy going on about saying he needs a £3,000 family estate when he's got two perfectly practical, reliable, sensible family cars here on his driveway already? Well, I will explain why later in the video. But before that, I want to get into the reason why everybody has clicked on this video. You want to see these 5 different examples of estate cars that you can buy today for just £3,000. I am going to be showing you examples of each of them on the classifieds, and a couple of them are rather tantalising. But it's true, like I just said, most non-car enthusiast parents would think that I'm crazy for looking to buy an old £3,000 car to use as a family car. Instead, I should use that as a down payment on a PCP deal of a brand new car. And I looked this morning, and yeah, for £3,500 to £4,000 down payment, I could get myself a brand new MG crossover with monthly PCP payments of around £350. But if I did that, I'd also be castrating my passion for cars. I say no to crossovers and think that an estate is far superior. And to prove that, number 1 of 5 is an Alfa Romeo 159 Sportwagon. Now, come on, how cool looking are these? Right, we've got one here, £2,500, 130,000 miles on the clock, 2008. It's a manual as well. All of these 5 options I'm going to go through today all are available as manuals as well, and I would much prefer to get a manual. Now, it does say part exchange to clear, and in my experience, that is never a particularly good side to see on a classified ad. But these are exceptionally cool looking estate cars, aren't they? Got no pictures of the interior there. Let's have a look at another one. But right, this one is firmly out of budget, but let's just see if we can have a look at the interior. Oh, come on. Look at that interior. That's wonderful, isn't it? Amazing. I would love one of these. And now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, a sensible family car, it needs to be reliable, doesn't it? And yeah, there's always a question mark, isn't there, over Alfa Romeos. Now, I know if you go further back than this and look at older cars, there are some seriously cool older estates. The further back you go, the cooler they look as well. But I am restricting it to cars that are around the mid-noughties and newer. And the reason for that is that was around the time when NCAP safety became a huge part of car manufacturing. Basically around the early noughties was when cars got highlighted as being unsafe. You know, if you got a bad NCAP score on your car, that basically doomed your sales. And lots of people have always criticised this era of Alfa Romeo because they're so heavy. But I believe the reason why they suddenly got a lot heavier was because they were a lot safer as well. Right, so estate number 2 that I'm considering is a BMW. So a 3 Series Touring or a 5 Series Touring. Now, I did find something exceptionally tempting on Facebook Marketplace this morning. It's an E39 Touring, so 525i, within budget, and the mileage is pretty good as well. What was it? Yes, just over 100,000 miles, but look how stunning that is. Oh, just the exterior looks and the interior ergonomics of that car is just perfect. Oh, it's a shame it's not a manual, but look, the reason I'm going to resist the temptation of getting an E39 though is that common sense says that that is going to be a car that's going to need some form of restoration. And I do genuinely want this car to be practical, to tick all of the boxes and to just prove the point, you know, that you can, for £3,000, buy a perfectly suitable family car. And I'll save popping my E39 cherry for when I get a 540i Touring or an E39 M5, because that is a real bucket list car for me. It's probably the best BMW that I've ever driven, and I've done a review of the M5 on the channel. My search is taking me to the deepest, darkest sections of Facebook and Gumtree, which means obviously before I even go to view any of these estate cars that I want to buy, I will be running a car vertical check on each of them. And here, my friends, is a perfect example as to why. Look at this lovely example of a 320d Touring. Oh, absolutely stunning car. That would be perfect. If I could get something like this within budget, I'd be absolutely laughing. And my wife would love driving that because she loved her X5 as well. But these pictures you're looking at there were taken in 2021. But because I ran a car vertical check on this car, you can see it's got an amber warning for damage. And 2 years prior to those lovely pictures you just saw of it looking all fantastic, 2 years prior, it was involved in a crash. And look at this, look, a rather nasty crash as well. You know, front end damage there is quite severe. And I imagine the airbags, yep, look, all the airbags gone off. And these pictures are clearly from when it's up for sale. And, you know, even if the seller was being honest and said, yeah, there was a crash before, but it was just something minor on the front end. They just had to repair the bumper. That's the sort of story that you hear. But because you ran a car vertical check on it, you can see the reality on the report. And if it doesn't match up with the seller being honest, then you know it's a car that you need to run away from. And so to make sure your next car purchased hasn't been crashed, stolen, or clocked in the past, always run a car vertical check and always use promo code Dadcars to save 20% off. A massive thank you to Car Vertical for sponsoring the Dadcars channel. Now let's see what exciting Tourings we can buy for £3,000. So, okay, yeah, so as expected, we're getting a mixture of 3 Series, 5 Series, and from different generations as well. Oh, come on, look. E46 3 Series. My granddad had one of these, and still to this day, it's such a cool looking car, isn't it? Oh, look at that wonderful interior as well. I absolutely love those. Oh no, I have just spotted an absolutely perfect F31 generation 320i. Look at that, it's in like nicotine stained silver, which I just like anything that's a bit interesting. And the interior on it is, oh look at that, it's like an ivory. That is absolutely stunning. I love that. It's out of budget. It's £4,500. Oh. If I could get like that car within budget, obviously it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get that for £3,000, but that'd be, oh, and there's a manual as well. That would be perfect. That would be absolutely perfect. Yeah, look at that. That is a stunner. If you've got a slightly bigger budget and you're looking to buy an estate car at the moment, that is what I'd be going for. That bad boy. Right, so for contestant number 3, let's get back to safety focus, shall we? How about a Saab 9.3 Sportwagon? And please don't shout at me for looking at a car which is out of budget, but I can't resist looking at this one here. It's a 2.8 V6. It's got 135,000 miles on the clock, but it is a manual. What do we think of that? Now, I'm somebody who was just never interested in Saabs whatsoever. They never caught my eye, but that wasn't until I drove one. I drove a £1,000 Saab on the channel and did a Dadcars review on it. And I came away from that review with a real appreciation for Saabs. They're really special cars. They're awesome. It's a shame they're all front wheel drive, but you can plow into a moose head on in a Saab and survive because their structural safety is legendary. Apparently the ABC pillars are all so strong that when they rallied these, they didn't technically need to have a roll cage in. You did because that was in the rules, but you know, strength wise, structural rigidity wise, you didn't need to. Yeah, maybe I need to get a Saab Sportwagon on for review. If anybody's got one and they'd like to see a Dadcars review on it, please reach out to me, send me an email. My details and everything will be in the description below. Right, so for option number 4, let's get back to a German brand. How about an Audi Avant? And as we've got 4 children, I think an A6 makes a lot of sense. And I'm surprised to see that for around £3,000, you are getting multiple generations of A6 Avant come up. Look, so you've got both C6 and C7 A6s coming up here. Let's have a look at this one. I mean, it's super high mileage. It's nearly a proper high mile hero at over 200,000, but it is a C7 with an asking price of £3,500, 2-litre TDI. Now that is an exceptionally good looking estate car, isn't it? Wow, look at that. And I have featured a C7 RS6 on the channel and absolutely loved it. But a decent, reliable C7 Avant for £3,000 that's wishful thinking, isn't it? But handily, last year I also reviewed 2 different C6 RS6s, the V10, and because of that, like, I absolutely love the shape of the C6 as well. And I do think getting one of these is very realistic. I mean, this one here is just over 100,000 miles, 2008, it's an auto. I would prefer a manual, but you know, that looks like a nice car, doesn't it? I don't think I'd ever want to own a black on black Audi though. it's a bit boring, but yeah, but a C6, it's probably going to be a 2-litre TDI, isn't it? But yeah, that's a definite big option for me. Which now brings us on to my top pick estate. This is right at the top of my list. This is what I think is the most likely I will end up buying. And it is a Volvo V70. And I would really like a 5-cylinder. Look, we got one here. It's up for £3,500 in a nice understated colour scheme there. Nice colour on the outside. And it's probably going to be a black interior, isn't it? Black interior and part cloth seats as well. But I just love the interiors on these V70s. I love the little pop-up sat-nav screen because, I mean, it's dreadful obviously, but it's the same screen that you get popping up in the VH platform Aston Martins. And just honestly, the interior on these cars, they're wonderful and they drive so well as well. I drove one of these last year and I made a massive point in that review of saying for sub £5,000, this car is exceptional. It's so great. And obviously everybody knows as well that Volvo are class leading in safety as well. Rear wheel drive too, and you can get these in manuals as well. My problem is going to be getting one for £3,000, which doesn't have 200,000 miles on the clock. And I still would like a bit of an interesting colour combination, you know, not just sort of grey on black, you know. We've got another one here, which is within budget. It's got 91,000 miles on the clock as an auto, 2006. But look at that. Look at the side profile on that. That's wonderful. I love it. Absolutely fantastic cars these are. So understated as well. Oh, that one's got an aftermarket infotainment screen there as well. But yeah, these are wonderful cars. Honestly, they're just so lovely to just waft around in. So those are my 5 top picks. I'm probably going to get one of these 5, but I want to hear what you think. What would you buy? What do you think I should buy out of those 5? So an Alfa Romeo 159 Sportwagon, a BMW Touring, a Saab 9.3 Sportwagon, a A6 Avant, or a Volvo V70. Please let me know in the comments below which of those 5 would you pick, and also if there's something that I've forgotten. If there's another one that you're screaming at the screen, let me know in the comments below. Also, if anybody watching this has one of these cars and you've got any information that you can share in the comments below that's going to help me when I'm going to have a look at these cars, please share it. Also, it'd be great for people to be able to then look in the comments and read through and learn from owners who actually own these cars as well. Also, anybody watching who has an excellent estate dad car that is like around £5,000 or sub £5,000 that they think needs to be on the Dadcars channel, have a full proper review so that other dads out there can see how wonderful it is, please reach out to me, email me, and we'll get a filming day booked in the calendar. Right, so I promised at the start to explain to you why I'm buying a £3,000 family estate. And as subscribers know, I previously had the Renault Avantime as like the backup family car. So for whatever reason, mine and my wife's car was off getting worked on or something like that, we had another car that we could still get around in. And that recently went up for competition with LLF Games. And thank you to everybody who bought tickets for the Avantime. I really, really appreciate it, particularly because we did not sell many tickets at all. It was a complete flop. I mean, that video flopped as well. Every video I made of the Avantime always flopped. You know, the last video I think got like 8,000 views. So everyone who did buy a ticket, thank you so much. But yeah, we barely scraped enough ticket sales to just surpass like half of what that car was worth and what it actually owed me. And to make it worse, the person who won it was just a general LLF Games player, someone who plays games frequently on LLF Games. And I was just so gutted, but handily, LLF Games actually offered the guy, because he said he was just going to come pick it up and sell it, they offered him a cash alternative, which he took. So I've actually got the Dadcars Renault Avantime back, Bluey. I've got it, and it's now going to be for sale. So if you're watching this, I know there's not many people, because not many people watch the Avantime videos, but yeah, any of my subscribers who really are seriously interested in that car, and you'd like to buy it, I will sell it to a subscriber for less than what that car owes me. I mean, it owes me over £3,750. I'm probably going to be putting it up for sale around that price, but I will let it go for less if it's a subscriber and they want the stickers left on it. I will let you have a deal on it. So again, just reach out to me on Instagram if you're interested, or send me an email. But the reason why we're not keeping the Avantime and keeping that as the family backup car is because my wife hates driving it. she hates driving it. I mean, once I put the stickers on it, she just like refused to drive it around. I find it hilarious and it makes me smile, but she just wants to go do the school run and pick up the kids and take them places and things like that. She doesn't want to draw attention to herself. And I love it because that car does attract so much sort of fun and attention and smiles and happiness from people, but my wife hates it. So she's very happy that I'm going to be buying an understated, sensible estate car. And so she's going to be happy to just float around in something that doesn't draw too much attention to herself. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my £3,000 family estate challenge. And I really want to knock this out the park. I want this family estate that I buy to be a real statement, you know, to everybody, to parents out there, that almost anybody can afford to buy a £3,000 car, you know, without saddling themselves with like huge monthly finance payments or getting something on PCP or whatever. And I really want this to be a success. So in my next video, I'm actually going to see my good friend, Auto Alex, who is a estate connoisseur. He's an estate expert. And I'm going to make a very special video with him all about why estates are awesome and why we should make the estate great again. So if you would like to see how this challenge plays out, make sure you click that subscribe button. Just do it now, because there's still like 60% of the people who come back and watch my channel each week who haven't clicked that subscribe button, and it's quite devastating. But like this video as well, comment below, share it with another dad who you think will find this challenge fun. And in the meantime, check out the review that I did on the Volvo V70, because it's such a cool car. Or check out this video here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.